So when people get into the business, you got to spend $1,000 to $2,000 a month or more on leads. I couldn't do that. So I said, what else can I do to drive traffic to my webpage or my funnel or whatever I did? I said, well, I got to produce 3 to 5 videos a day just to get my name out there, to get my videos rolling to the right people at the right time, in the right place, so that they'll come to me and want to do business with me. Short form video is a good way to just give value in a very short period of time so that people can share it 100 different ways. And that's how I get all my business. I've never bought leads to this day.
Hey, we're back for another exciting episode of the Life Insurance Academy podcast. And today, all the way from Frisco, Texas, special guest. This guy's a financial strategist, entrepreneur who helps families protect assets, reduce financial risks, and build lasting legacies. Now, that sounds pretty impressive, I think. I think it sounds pretty impressive.
Me too.
As the founder of Legacy Wealth Academy, he shares practical strategies in estate planning, trust, and wealth building to make complex money topics simple and actionable. I think this guy is probably going to deliver some content today to us that we haven't heard in a while or ever on this channel. Mark's mission is to equip families with tools to create generational success while staying true to the core values of honor, integrity, compassion, and leadership. Welcome to the Life Insurance Academy podcast, TikTok guru.
I appreciate it.
Mr. Mark Casera. Welcome to the podcast, man.
It's an honor to be here. Appreciate it, Roger. Thank you.
He flew in all the way from Frisco, Texas to be here.
Yeah, the flight was okay, but it was delayed over an hour. It's a little bit of pain in the butt, but we're here.
But we got Adam. So Adam's super flexible.
Yeah.
Thank you, Adam, for your patience and grace.
Thank you for being flexible, guys. Yeah.
Mark, man, for new listeners, for people who are getting exposed to you maybe for the first time, and I'm thinking that they're seeing you and they're thinking, I know I've seen this guy on social media before. So there's a couple things I want you to hit. You've got a pretty good size following on social media, just a few people that follow.
Couple.
And you got a few family members that you're taking care of. So I'd like you to talk about those two things, your family, maybe your faith, maybe your social media. Well, let's introduce. Who is Mark Casera, man?
Yeah. Hey, guys, I'm Mark Casera. I'm just really a college dropout, and I have a family of 6 children, twin boys who are 13 years old, triplet girls. Most jaws drop at that point.
Wow.
They're 9 years old. 2 of the girls are identical, one's fraternal, but they're triplets.
That's amazing. I didn't even know that was possible.
It's possible. And then our oldest is 28. And when she moved out, she just tricked us. She had a kid. And so now we have a grandbaby that's 6 years old.
Oh, my gosh.
So we still have 6 in the house for most of the days, you know.
Oh, wow.
But I have across social media, up until about 4 months ago, I had over 2 million organic followers over TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. And just about 3.5, 4 months ago, Mark Zuckerberg banned my Facebook account.
Banned by Mark.
Banned it. And I had 900,000 organic followers on my, not a business page, this was on my personal profile.
On your personal Facebook page.
Profile. And the reason was community guideline strike. There was something about community guidelines. I sent letter after letter.
I'm sure they were very clear as to what the community guidelines.
Not at all. Not at all. I drew up legal documents. I even had a lawyer draft something for me, sent it to Meta. No response. They don't care about me. I'm just a little peon in their world, you know. But so I had a huge following, and I started this industry in 2020, right during COVID. I got recruited off of Facebook. So it was a guy that I was following in Facebook, and I reached out to him. I needed some insurance for myself and my family, so we got a couple policies. And then he said, hey, did you ever think about maybe getting a license and doing this? Now that you have a policy, you know what it's like. You can actually sell this. And I never thought about it in a million years. I came from ministry. I was a youth pastor for 10, 12 years with my wife. I had a couple of my own businesses. Never did I ever think about life insurance, financial services. That was like the farthest thing from my mind.
Wow.
But one thing led to another. We got in, and it was it was the dynamic with the guy who recruited me. Amazing coach, mentor, taught me everything I needed to know in a very short period of time. So as I got up to speed with everything, it was a matter of 6 to 8 months. I was able to quit my full-time job, my three jobs, one full-time, two part-time. I was an Uber driver. I did all the things. But within 6 to 8 months, I was able to quit my job and go 100% into life insurance sales. And I've been remote doing Zoom sales ever since.
So you do virtual sales. So you're still in person. You're still not in person, but you're face to face, virtually. Mm-hmm. So it's not telesales.
Correct.
It's virtual sales.
Yeah.
And what market are you in specifically?
So we focus on advanced market products, IULs, executive bonus plans, PDA policies, and annuities, retirement planning as well. Yeah.
So IULs, FIAs, fixed index annuity, executive bonus plans. What got you there? Because that's not necessarily a natural jumping in point for most people that come into this industry.
Yeah.
People are usually coming in saying, where do I buy leads?
Final expense.
Mortgage protection, final expense.
Yeah.
How'd you get launched into that and why?
Interesting story. I got started in a three-letter company, and it was a multi-level marketing, type of, company that they were running. And so it was a lot of warm market. It was a lot of, all internal consumption type of sales. So we kind of I got
family and friends, recruiting family and friends.
And the product that was most popular was IUL.
Okay.
And so we did a lot. My first few dozen policies were just IUL. And so I never went the traditional route of mortgage protection, final expense, although I did some organically through sales. I never jumped headfirst into that. So I was just naturally thought, well, IUL was the thing that everybody does, so I'm just going to keep learning.
Sure.
And I decided by the help and encouragement of a good mentor and friend of mine, to just really become an expert in that industry or in that specific field, that target. And I just learned everything I could by going on carrier websites, watching webinars, searching for people on the internet. I wanted to be the knowledgeable expert that everybody turns to when it comes to what is an IUL? How does it work? What are the myths that I can bust about it? Because there's a lot of garbage out there.
Yeah.
People are just hating on it a lot, But I just became an expert in a short period of time, and I used my social media platform to bring value. I was focused on value. I wasn't even trying to sell through social media. I just wanted to say, hey, these are the 3 things you need to know about this. These are the 5 steps to do this. I just did actionable, value-based videos, and as well as short form.
Educational content.
All educational.
All short form.
I started on TikTok. I had no followers. And within 6 to 8 months, I had 100,000. Another 6 months, 250,000, 600, and it just kept growing because people would take my content and they would share it all over the place. And it got to the point where I'd go in a restaurant in Dallas and people would know who I was because they saw a video. I went into PetSmart just to look at puppies with my kids, and the cashier was like, I watch your financial videos. And I'm like, oh, well, thank you. It was very weird. It was awkward because I never thought I'd have that type of notoriety, you know?
Yeah.
But it's just educational based, man.
Well, it's interesting because when I was, getting ready for this interview, and of course I knew what you had done, and I've seen your stuff so much. I was just scrolling through some of your videos, and they are direct, in your face education. Did you know? What if I told you the 3 things you need to do? Right? The one that you talked about, the revocable trust.
Yeah.
Like you were just hitting every reason why you should set up a revocable trust.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking more people need to know this stuff. And you are a great educator, man, in short form content. And that has such a high trend even now. Like I think it's probably the highest trending video content in short form out there on social media. I know Instagram, Facebook, YouTube Shorts, and TikTok. I mean, the people that are growing the fastest are people that are putting out educational content. Why is it hitting so well? And I think that's how you drive all of your leads. Yeah, all 100%. Of your sales are coming off of your educational content. People DMing you and 100%. People are sliding into your DMs and asking you to become their life insurance agent.
That's it. And when I started in 2020, TikTok was kind of new. It was like a new platform. Short form video was a new way to get yourself out there.
Yeah.
And I committed to myself. Well, it was a kind of a couple things. I was broke at the beginning. I didn't have any money to buy leads, right? So when people get into the business, you got to spend $1,000 to $2,000 a month or more on leads. I couldn't do that. So I said, what else can I do to drive traffic to my webpage or my funnel or whatever I did? I said, well, I gotta produce 3 to 5 videos a day just to get my name out there, to get my videos rolling to the right people at the right time, at the right place, so that they'll come to me and want to do business with me. And I think that the reason short form video works so well is because they say people's attention span is that of a goldfish, right? It's about 2 seconds. And short form video is so quick and it's so punchy that people can retain the information in a 30-second video and go share it with 15 people all in, a matter of a few minutes versus watching an hour and a half podcast and being overwhelmed with all the information. That takes time, and most people can't sit that long. So I think short form video has been a game changer, and I don't think it's stopping anytime soon.
Yeah.
I think the more involved we get in with technology and all the different platforms that are arising, people's attention are staying very short. And so you need information that's going to captivate you, that's going to drive traffic, that they're going to be able to share, but that is also value-based as well. Nobody likes to be sold, right? Short form video is a good way to just give value in a very short period of time so that people can share it 100 different ways. And that's how I get all my business. I've never bought leads to this day.
Are you ready to launch your insurance career? Excel Solutions is your go-to leader in life, accident, and health insurance pre-license training. Their cutting-edge e-learning platform is packed with rich content. Think interactive assessments, engaging videos, and customized learning paths, all tailored to your learning style. Being students ourselves, we've trusted Excel now for years to deliver top-notch training, offering high pass rates. Their streamlined prep review courses and the exam simulator are really your secret weapons to nailing the state exam the very first time. Now, you thought it couldn't get any better. Well, it just did. Life Insurance Academy listeners, you receive an epic 50% discount, reducing the regular course fee from $199 to only $99. So, all you have to do is use partner code LIA at liapodcast.org/Excel. Now, Excel spells XCEL. So don't think about it any longer. Dive headfirst into your insurance career with Excel Solutions' premier pre-license training with that exclusive 50% discount just for you. Get the code, get licensed, and excel in your insurance career. It's interesting. Gary Vaynerchuk's book, Jab, 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 Right Hook, is based off the concept.
Totally.
Give, and then ask. I
based my whole philosophy off that when I started.
And you don't even ask.
Correct.
You just give, and people show up and ask. I think that is such a cool premise. And there's so many people that use their social media, like they give a little bit of content. If you need someone to talk to, hit me up. You just say, I've got a newsletter, I've got a thing. If you want some more information, you can click this and I'll send you and you're still giving. So even when you get them to engage with you, you're giving them something even in the engagement piece.
Yeah.
And so that's what I found really cool about your approach. I saw there's almost 700,000 followers on TikTok. Yeah. You got millions of views on some of these videos. It's just pretty impressive. Maybe we can... On
Facebook, before I lost it, I had a video that did 45 million views, a short reel, 45 million views.
And if we can somehow post, Adam, maybe a clip here to show some of Mark's educational content, you're probably going to recognize it because I know you've seen this guy before. Oftentimes in his car with his sunglasses on and he's like raising them to talk to you. And
true.
It's all a part of the approach.
And I do everything. I'm not one of those guys that will plan content ahead of time and batch record all in one sitting. I'm more of if I feel it and I'm inspired, I'll whip out my phone and just record right then and there.
Yeah.
I was at the airport and I recorded a video because I saw something that triggered a thought that said, oh, this is content. For me, here's my philosophy. Everything is content. Everything, a conversation you have, a phone call you have, an interaction you have at Walmart, it's all content and it can all be related to whatever business that you're in. And one of the most important things that I've ever done with social media is always leave a call to action at the end of the video. I never go a video without saying or leading someone somewhere.
Yeah.
Either click the link in my bio, DM me this word, message me, join this link. Because if you don't tell people what to do, they're just going to naturally scroll to the next video without, it's that zombie mindless scrolling thing that we all get into it. We all do it.
Yeah.
Sit up late at night, 2 hours later, you're like, where did the time go? I just watched 17 cat videos, right? My wife likes cats, that's why. So you have to drive people's attention to where you want them to go. It's like when you're on a call with somebody selling insurance. Well, you have to tell them what's best for them. They don't know what's best for them. You have to tell them what to do and how to do it and how to get the results that they're looking for. And it's all the same thing with social media.
So why IULs? Why are you so passionate about it? And how does it work for your clients? New people are watching thinking, I've heard about IULs. I've heard that they collapse and people lose all their money. And you hear about these ones that are sold through the mail and they're not set up right. Tell me why IULs from your perspective, why they work so well and the type of clients that you're servicing with them and how you help them.
For sure. For me personally, I'm a product of the product. So when I got insurance in 2020, I didn't want a policy where I would pay into it and I'm healthy and I knew I would outlive it and not get anything back from it, right? I hate car insurance, but we have to have it on our cars, right? It's one of those things where I said, well, what is there out there where I can... And I started to learn about all these different things that people talk about, infinite banking and, LIRPs, life insurance, retirement plans, and all that. And I said, I'm interested in this. And so I started really small. I started with my wife and I each got a policy. We got a policy for each of our kids, $25, $30 a month, small policies. And over the years, we've increased the contributions to the policies to now where we have thousands of dollars in our insurance policies. And we knew that
cash value.
Cash value. We have cash value inside the policies that is accumulating interest, conservative. It's nothing like the stock market, but it's not supposed to be. This is a conservative way to stick a little money aside, to grow it conservatively, but to be able to use it at the same time. And the thing that blew my mind in the very beginning was when I learned that you can pull cash value from your policy. It's tax-free in the form of a loan. You don't have to pay taxes on that. But while you take that money out as a loan, it actually stays in your policy, earning uninterrupted compound interest while you're using the money. So effectively, you're splitting your dollar in half in two different places at the same time. That was fascinating for me. And so when we educate clients about these policies, we don't overhype them. In other words, if you're going to start an IUL policy, it's going to be a few years before you have enough cash value built up to where you can actually borrow it and utilize it for those things that you want to utilize it for. So there's lots of gurus on TikTok and all of these other platforms that hype it up to the point where they're going to really end up having a policy later on lapse on itself because maybe they can't afford to pay the premiums or whatever the case may be. Our chargeback rates is very, very low in our agency because we do enough education with the client and we set the expectation up correctly with them so that they know that they're not gonna, they know what they're doing. They know what they're getting into. In other words, if somebody tells me they have a budget of $1,000 a month, I will never write a policy for $1,000 a month. I'll write it for maybe a quarter of that or half of that, and then allow them to overfund it if they want to. So we have a very good placement and persistency in our business because of the educational piece and because we've built trust with people over time. But I was a believer from the beginning, and that's the product that I love the most. I'm passionate about it. And I don't ever position it like it's an investment. That's one thing that most agents get really, really wrong, is they position it as an investment. And then the people that they sell it to have this idea like it's going to change their life and they're going to have double-digit returns on it. That's not the way to do it. It shouldn't be positioned that way. It's an insurance policy. It gives you death benefits, living benefits, but it also helps you build a little bit of cash savings in it as well. And so that's what I'm passionate about.
It's interesting because you talked about how we're splitting the dollar and putting it to work in two different directions. And that just blew your mind. Yeah. And I think it blew some people's minds that were watching. Yeah. They were like, well, how's that possible? How does it stay in the word you used was you can borrow, take out a loan and use it, but the money is still in the policy growing.
Yeah.
Right? Technically, is that what's happening? And I've always had a little bit of an explanation for this because people sometimes just can't get their head around that, right? So they get lost there for a minute. And in the DMs right now, we're probably going to get the questions, IULs suck.
Yeah, of course.
You know, we get that. Like we've done episodes on IUL before, and then you get people say, no, it has to be cash value whole life. It has to be not IULs or buy term, invest the difference, right? You see all these different strategies, right? And the thing that I liken it to is like a home mortgage, right? If I have a home that's worth $500,000 and I only owe $200,000 on the remaining balance, well, I have approximately $300,000 in equity in my house. That's the same as cash value in a life insurance policy. I kind of use this analogy. It doesn't. It's not exactly the same, but it helps people understand.
Yeah.
And this $300,000, well, can that be leveraged? Well, yes, it could. Of course it can. If the housing market is increasing on a $500,000 home, if the housing market is increasing at 4% annually, what is the growth, right? 4% on a $500,000 home, it's worth $520,000 next year, right? Because of the 4% growth in the housing market, in the real estate market. Well, if you borrowed in a home equity line of credit, $100,000 from your house against your home, it doesn't mean your home is worth $400,000. It's still worth $500,000, and the housing market is still going to increase it to $520 in its value. You just have to pay back the 100 before when you sell it. So yes, you're using the money, but you're still getting full opportunity on the growth side of what it's indexed against the market. And so likewise, cash value inside an IUL is doing the same thing. And you're leveraging it for your own purposes. And some people use it to pay off mortgages, in fact, you know, like these mortgage-free life products. And I find it fascinating. You talk to me about some of your clients are executives. Talk about how that works and what you've set up as a strategy for, just give a couple examples of how you've set up strategy for some executives.
Yeah, so a lot of clients that reach out to us, especially on TikTok, are business owners. It's kind of wild. We have business owners that come to us, small businesses, family-owned businesses. They don't have pensions. They don't have 401ks. They don't have traditional investments built into their companies. So we position an IUL to be a supplement retirement plan. It's not a replacement for IRA, 401k, those things, because it should work hand in hand together. It should complement them. It shouldn't replace them. I never position an IUL to replace a 401k or an IRA. Some people do that. I don't like that. I don't like that practice, right? So we position it as a supplement. So businesses come to me. We had one guy recently come to us say, I have $50,000 of expendable, money that I can put into an IUL per year. How much money can I access of that if I needed to? Well, we have certain products that we work with that have something called an enhanced liquidity rider built into it. It's one specific carrier. I'm not going to name names for whatever reason right now, but we have a carrier that allows that. He puts $50,000 in that. 30 days later, he can take 80% out via the loan and go deploy it in business capital purposes, buying equipment or, investing in his employees or whatever the case may be. So it's just as good as an IUL, as a whole life product, because technically and traditionally you do the infinite banking with whole life only. Well, nowadays, because of the evolution of the IUL, you can also start doing it with IULs. Now people ask me, well, why do you have to pay interest on the money that you're borrowing, right? Why not just take the money out of your bank and you don't have to pay interest? Well, you're giving and taking at this point, right? One of my policies personally, I put $20,000 in last year. Just this last month, I took $18,000 out. My interest is only 2% on my loan, and I don't have to pay that back. There's no specific time I need to pay that back. I can pay it back in 5 years from now. I have to pay 2% back, but that interest goes back into my policy. And so a lot of time business owners come to us, they say, I got working capital. I don't want to waste it, or I don't want to just use it once. I want to use it over and over and over again. So we position either a whole life. We do both, by the way. We use whole life for certain circumstances too. But IULs tend to have better performance and longer term growth. And so our clients, They like to position themselves and their money so that it grows faster and longer versus just sitting there and getting 2 to 4% in a whole life, right? But we use both. We're kind of holistic in that approach. I'm not just an IUL guy or just a whole life guy. Usually guys are just one or the other. It depends on the client's use case and what they need. But we've had big businesses come to us. We've had people who I had one guy had $500,000 from a sale of a business. He goes, Mark, what do I do with this? I don't want to risk it in the market. I already have enough property. I don't want to buy real estate. Do you have any other suggestions? Well, we positioned what's called a PDA, a premium deposit account. And it's where you cut the entire check to the carrier. The carrier puts it in a premium deposit account earning 4%. And then they systematically, strategically liquidate that $500K and put it into the policy over a certain period of time so that we can meet certain MEC standards so that it doesn't become a modified endowment contract. And then taxes get ugly. So he put the whole $500K in over 5 years, $100K every single year is going to go in there. At the end of 5 years, he has full access to the $500K plus all of the interest that's grown, 6 to 8% interest over those 5 years. And he's loving life right now because he can use that money over and over and over again without having to deplete his savings or without having to dip into his retirement accounts.
And that continues to grow at 500,000 plus.
It'll grow for the rest of his life. As long as the market continues to grow and we don't have a Japanese type of economy where it just declines for 18 years. As long as the market grows, he's gonna get conservative interest gains on his $500,000 for the rest of his life, and the policy pays for itself.
And these IULs, they have floors.
Yes.
What does that mean?
0% floor was one of the reasons I chose an IULs, because the 0% floor means if the market crashes, the money you put in the policy via the premiums, a portion of that goes to pay the death benefit. The majority goes in the cash value savings account. If a market crashes tomorrow, your money stays the same. You never go down with the market, but when the market goes up, you never go
below zero.
You never go below zero. It's a safety net. And people are okay getting 0% interest knowing that their money's safe versus negative 14% or 25% like we saw during COVID. Some people lost hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. And then some of our clients lost zero, and we're getting thank you cards in the mail versus death threats from people hating on their financial advisors because you lost my money. We don't get that, and so that's why we have another one of the other reasons we have a high retention rate is because we're positioning people where their money's protected and not at risk.
So they have upside growth. They have downside protection,
and the upside growth is conservative, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to get 14%, right? There's some gurus that'll tell you, I'll get you 10 to 12%. In my personal experience, our policies, my family policies, have averaged about 8 to 9%. That's personal. You go on, I'll log in right now and you can see a 9% average rate of growth year over year for my kids' policies. Now, I usually position it as more conservative. You'll probably get 6 to 8%. Right? Because some years it'll be higher, some years it'll be lower. It just depends on what the market returns. And there's different indices that you can peg it to. Now you got to remember, an IUL is not directly invested in the market ever. And people I don't want to name names, but you know him. He's bald, has a goatee, and he hates cash value, right? Everybody knows him. Well, he says you should never mix insurance and investments. I 100% agree with you. An IUL does not mix the two together. It allows you to track the market, but it's never investing your money directly in the market. So there's always safety. And so that's why I love it, and that's what we educate clients on. So
interesting that you have now an opportunity to have new agents join your team, and you're teaching them how to do the same. You have an educational platform for social media.
Yeah, we do.
You just organically started doing social media because it was something you've always done in your life. It took off, obviously, the educational component on the shorts, and now you're teaching new agents how to do that.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, when we onboard new agents, we put them through a social media boot camp. And it's just stuff that I've learned over the years that I just allow them to learn with me, right? I've recorded videos, and we have webinars and master classes, and I give my agents full access to all of my content. Now, over the years, I've sold that content to outside agents from other companies as well, because when they come to me, they say, how do I get 1 million followers? Well, I got a course for that. You know, if you want it, I'll send you the link, right? But my agents, they get all of my information for free. And I'd like to set them up learning how to, number one, optimize their profiles. If you go on somebody's profile, they're selling insurance and they have cat pictures and dog pictures or them working on a car, it's not optimized for the sale, right? So we teach them, number one, how to optimize their profiles. And then we teach them how to start creating content, and specifically short form videos. Short form video for me was a game changer, and I think it's going to continue to grow from now on. And we teach them how to do short form videos. And if they don't want to use their face, we teach them how to do other styles, but still in the version of short form videos. And so we'll bring them through that. Then we'll teach them how to do organic outreach to their friends, families, and associates, tapping into their warm market first. It gets really good training underneath their belt, dealing with people, overcoming objections. And then the last piece is starting to dive into more paid ads or maybe webinars or buying leads from lead vendors.
What do you see as the opportunity for agents that are watching YouTube, watching one of our shorts on YouTube Shorts or an Instagram Reel, or maybe they're listening on Spotify or Apple or one of the audio platforms? What can new agents expect in the industry? Number one, what can it do for them getting in this industry? I love the industry, obviously. Yeah. That's why we do this podcast, and we've seen so many lives changed. So what can the industry do for them? And specifically, what can a new agent expect if they work with you? How do you help them win and change their life?
Yeah. You know, getting into the industry, it was one of the most noble businesses I've ever been involved in, right? Because number one, we're helping people protect their most valuable assets, which is themselves and their families. But we're also making a really good income, really good, career doing it, right?
Yeah.
Never in a million years did I think I was going to be in life insurance. But when I got into it, the two pieces that I love the most, people and financial literacy, were bridged together. And so I think now is the best time, more than ever before, to get involved in the financial services industry. There are so many resources at your fingertips. And if you get connected to the right company, it will explode your growth. If you get connected to the wrong company, you may have to pivot a little bit. You may have to change or, look for other opportunities. And like I said in the very beginning, I got involved in a company. I stayed with them for 4 years. I made a great living, but it didn't align with my ultimate long-term vision. So I had to pivot, and I made a few changes along the way, and I got involved with a company that gives so many resources. I said, number two, find a good mentor. Mentorship is the cheat code to this industry and sales in general. If you don't have a good mentor, you will spend years making lots of mistakes. But when you find a good mentor, it will cut your learning curve in half. And the industry is full of mentors. You just got to find the right one.
Yeah.
And when it comes to me and our agency, we're a small fish in a big pond, but we're growing super fast. When you come onto my team, we are family, and I don't say that lightly. One of my brokers is going to be here, and he's a full-time agent right now. He's going to be here this weekend in Louisville for one of our big events. And it's an honor for him to be sitting next to me. He lives in Vegas, does what I do, Zoom virtual sales, but in Vegas. He just quit his 9-to-5 job to do this full-time. And we have talked every day since he quit his job because I want to support him. I want to make sure he succeeds. I want to make sure him and his family are fed. And I'll bend over backwards to do whatever it takes. You call me at 3 o'clock in the morning, I'll answer the phone, right? And I think that's how you have to, that's how you have to run your business. You have to run it like a community, like a family at first.
Yeah.
And then when you expand, obviously it changes a little bit the dynamic. But in the beginning, it's family, man. You gotta get each other's back.
Yeah. And can people change their lives in this business?
100%. Changed my life.
What do you see for your future?
I went from 3 jobs 5 years ago. Full-time, 9-to-5 was more like a 6 to 6, right? Because of traffic and commuting.
Yeah.
After 6 p.m., I got home, I drove Uber. And then after I was done with Uber, I would do online stuff to try to generate money because I had to feed 6 kids. 12 months changed my life. 6 to 8 months, I made enough money where I was able to quit my job. The following year, my income doubled. The year after that, my income doubled again. This year, our income surpassed. We've made more income this year than we have in the last 4 or 5 years. And I think in the next 5 years, we're going to have hundreds of people within our organization and multiple six-figure earners within our organization. We're going to have a headquarters in Texas. We're moving to Salina, Texas. So I envision a headquarters in Salina, Texas. It's a nice small farm, family-centered type of area. But man, I think it's going to be just explosive over the next year to 2 years. And with the technology that's coming on and all the different software you can dive into, better time now than ever before in history to get involved in the financial services industry.
So bet on yourself.
Bet on yourself, 100%.
Bet on yourself,
man.
but find the right opportunity with the right organization and find a good mentor.
That's it.
Yeah?
That's it.
Sounds like you got it. Hey, how do they connect with you, man? How do they find you on social? How do they connect with the Mark Cassara?
Just look up my name, Mark Cassara, on TikTok. You can find me, Mark Cassara, on Instagram, YouTube. I'm starting more long form content now. I've been doing short form content for years. Now I'm starting to do a podcast, and we're gonna be rolling out long form content. And so I'm all over the internet. I'm sure you've seen me. You didn't even know it.
And your podcast, do you have a name for it? Do you have a channel yet?
Yeah, it's my channel, Mark Cassara.
Yeah.
But it's the Lions and Legacy podcast.
Lions and Legacy podcast.
Yeah.
And you're going to be on YouTube and audio?
Yeah, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, all the things,
nice.
All the places.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for being on, brother.
Well, thank you for having me.
Appreciate it.
Really
it's been a pleasure.
You.
It's been a pleasure. Can't wait to see you grow and watch you continue to do great things. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you picked up a thing or two from this conversation with Mark Cassara with Legacy Wealth Academy. This business can change your life. There's another story. A man, 6 kids, 12 months, started to change his life. And 24 months, doubled his income. 36 months, tripled his income. And told me off camera that last year he did over $500,000 in premium on his own pen, not counting his agents. That's what's possible for you. You just got to jump in, take a chance on you, believe that you're enough, and get rolling. Get connected to someone good like Mark. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you on the next episode of the Life Insurance Academy podcast.